por acompañarnos en una nueva entrevista en el marco de un evento de Future Energy Summit. En esta oportunidad estoy con Andreas Cremer, él es director del departamento de Infraestructura energética de DEG. Bienvenido. Welcome to Future Energy Summit.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you to join us. We will continue the interview in English. And I was wondering, Andreas, what kind of financial instruments do you have or do you see to finance renewable energy projects for utility scale specifically?
Yes, thank you. So there are a wide variety of different instruments that we see in the market and that also DEG can offer to finance renewable projects. So we can provide financing as an equity investor, so really be equity provider in a utility scale project. We usually don't take majority stakes, so we are a minority investor. And then on the debt side, there's also quite a large different variety of different products that we can offer, starting with an equity bridge loan to support the sponsors to bridge their equity needs. We also see the financing through corporate transactions so that we really support large corporations to bank on their balance sheet and provide funding on their corporate balance sheet so that they can develop utility scale projects. And the most common product that we also do at DEG, also here in Latin America, is project finance. And project financing comes basically in two shapes, either with some kind of recourse or limited recourse to the sponsor. And usually what we really like to prefer and what we like to find in good environments is really non-recourse project financing of utility scale projects.
And do you need any specific guarantee from the owners of the different projects to apply to these financial instruments?
It depends a little bit on the setup and also the country that we're in and the risk that we're willing to take, and also depending on how well established the regulatory framework is. So if we have a very well established regulatory framework with good track records, then we don't really need a guarantee from the sponsor. That's the field of a non-recourse project finance guarantee. And in some instances, we're looking to ask the sponsor to get us some kind of a completion guarantee, because we also provide financing for development and the construction phase, and you want to reach COD for your project finance. And sometimes we ask in challenging markets to give us support from the sponsor. But majority of the financings that we do in Latin America is on a non-recourse project finance, so we don't ask the sponsor for explicit guarantees to support the financing.
And how much influence have the country risk in that decision to give the credit?
Yes, that's a good question, and it's also a very particular question to a DFI, because we are set up to bridge the gap in markets where you don't have a fully established banking environment and where we can support with long tenors to provide long-term financing to those projects. And this is really then also a question on what kind of risk are we getting ourselves into, which is predominantly determined by country risk. And the country risk can be mitigated through different factors. So you can purchase, for example, political risk guarantees to mitigate that risk. But we as a DFI are set up to take a certain level of country risk. The way the country risk is reflected in our project is by a rating that we will assign to the specific project. And then based on the rating and other risks, also country risk, we will determine the margin that we need to require in order to get compensated for the level of risk that we're taking.
It's more difficult, for example, give a credit to a project in Argentina that have a lot of country risk in difference, I don't know, maybe República Dominicana that have
Yes,
another.
absolutely. And that is then also very much reflected in the financing conditions that we have to ask to provide our loans to the projects. So you can make the case that a financing everything the same in Argentina compared to a financing that we are able to provide, the financing terms that we're able to provide in the Dominican Republic, the financing in the Dominican Republic would be cheaper compared to a higher risk country.
Okay, thank you very much for your commentaries. You give us a really deep analysis of credit in Latin America for renewable energy projects, utility scale. So thank you very much for joining us today. And I say goodbye to all the audience. Muchísimas gracias a todos por acompañarnos el día de hoy. And thank you very much, Andreas.
Thank you very much. Thank you.